Hello, everybody. And oh my God, sorry. Saw a picture of myself moving slightly out of sync. Welcome to the background music on. Welcome to today's Friday stream. This is Foxtsu Friday, a name I have to now commit to and stick with since someone pointed out that a zatsu with a foxboy is a foxu. So welcome to Foxtsu Friday. I feel like it's relatively successful, and I enjoyed last Friday going through all the spicy quotes from what do you call it? Fourth Wing, which, by the way, I'm going to continue. I'm in Iron Oath right now. I've been about, I don't know, 10 chapters in. Ooh, clip my ear there. 1 second. Myself down, move myself up. I'm about, I don't know, a quarter of the way through, 10th of the way through that one. So probably not next Friday, but this, because I'm out of town. The subsequent Friday, I'll probably do another spicy quote reading stream for Iron Oath, second book in the Empyrean series. We'll see how we go from there, but I think I just like the idea of having a regular non-gaming stream. Sorry, just a quick double check on my audio is working. And doing it every Friday. I was initially kind of skeptical about doing Friday streams in general because I felt like, oh man, let's not stream Fridays because that's when everyone else is streaming. Often when I'd end stream, I'd open up YouTube to check like, oh, did the VOD get posted? How did things go? I would take a look and it'd be like 3 VTubers I'm subscribed to are all live. And I'm like, I'm competing with some big names, big name competition, but not everyone follows those VTubers. And I realized yesterday, maybe crystallized today, that Friday's probably prime time for watching VTubers. Let me know if the background music is too loud because it's just a YouTube video playing. People get home finish the work week, they get home, they're cooking, they're relaxing, they're lounging, they open up to watch a streamer of some sort. So Friday, actually probably is a good day to stream. Probably your potentially large audience of the week. And I'm not in I feel like if I was in a different time zone, like if I was in JST or GMT, for example, or I forget the time zone of India, but a kind of a off-standard time zone, then I could be like, oh, I'm going to get this niche audience of English language speakers who are based in prime time Hyderabad. And it's like, no. I am Pacific time. I'm like smack dab prime center time. So just go for it. So anyway, we're here today for this stream where we are going to just quickly double check that all our streams are actually live on YouTube and Twitch as I say this. And then, oh yeah, look at that. Some of the top people I follow are streaming right now. Oof, there you go. Live. I would put out, I made a thumbnail for this Foxtsu Friday, and I think that's something I want to, one of my goals on my debut stream was essentially get better at making thumbnails. And that's part of the reason I'm here, to learn to draw, to make better thumbnails, because that thumbnail had an expertly drawn pencil on top of a screenshot of my hand. The hand in question. So today we are going to just mostly chat, do some drawing, a little bit of drawing. It is something I probably have always wanted to draw for the longest time. I think I had oh my God, I think about it. 7th grade art class. It was my first art class. 6th grade, perhaps. Like an actual sit down, let's learn to draw. And I think I both enjoyed it, but I was a little intimidated because at that time it was a moment of everything else was easy, right? And so I was kind of put off and intimidated by things that actually were hard and that required me to actually do more effort than I was accustomed for most classes in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade even. And so probably the 3 classes were Spanish, Spanish art classes like drawing, and then drama classes. However, now that I am an elder foxboy, have learned that sometimes if something's hard, it doesn't mean I should, turn away from it. Sometimes you just need to put the effort forth and lean into it. And I've realized as I'm saying this out loud that those subjects I struggled with are the ones I am perversely like pursuing now. Like I'm learning, I was always bad at language, it's hard. Now I'm learning Japanese. Drawing is hard, art classes. Now I'm going to draw live on stream after I put it off for a good 20 minutes here. And then the drama class is kind of funny because like reading those spicy quotes and just like voice acting games is drama. VTubing is essentially live. Okay, it's honestly, it's live radio. Let's not kid ourselves. Which is a bit not ironic, maybe full circle. Deep Spanish lore is when I was growing up in like, let's say preschool to 3rd grade, 4th grade, Spanish Mom was on the radio as a morning radio host at a local radio station. And so she would leave the house at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to do like the 6 a.m. Radio show. So I think about it. It's like, oh no, I have a family history of being on radio. Oh no. But here we are today, streaming, modern radio, less dense airwaves, less FCC control. For now. I hope. Dear FCC, if you're watching, I'm doing nothing wrong. My expression when I drink things is just terrible. But now I think about it, I think I have at least violated FCC regulations at least once. In theory, a friend of mine violated FCC regulations at least once. It wouldn't be me. Definitely not me. I'm pretty sure. One of those things like, don't do this. I'm like, what if I broadcast a little bit on this radio spectrum? But I'm not going to confess those crimes. In the past, no one can prove anything. Nobody can prove anything. It's fine. It was fine. It was in the pursuit of science. It was fine. It's for a greater cause. But we're not here for that. We're not here to recount past crimes of the federal or local state level. I hope not. We got a big blank screen in front of us. So let's see if we can just draw a circle. There we go. Draw a circle. I realized as I was setting up this stream, I wanted to do this like since my debut. So I was like, a month ago, 2 months ago. By the way, I keep looking to my left because that's where I see like myself and chat. I went and I bought all the equipment. Well, not all the equipment. Let me weave you a tale of my recent forays into drawing. So I've wanted to learn to draw. I've had this kind of like, I mentioned to a friend today, I mentioned him like, I don't know yet if I want to be good at drawing and I actually legitimately want to draw, or if I want to be the type of person who draws. Like, is it the romanticized idea of myself drawing that I'm pursuing, or is it the actual drawing itself? Like, I just have this vision of me like, oh, I'm just gonna take a fine liner pen and like a little like artsy note, like a moleskin notebook or some artsy notebook, and then when I travel places, just like sit in a coffee shop and do some like light sketching, and I'm like, oh, I love it. I love this idea. This idea is fantastic. It fits in like the idealized, romanticized view of myself. 100%, hands down, no questions asked. I think I did it once before in like Dublin or Galway. I think somewhere in an Ireland trip I tried this out and I kind of enjoyed it. But I'm doing a lot of solo travel. The idea of like solo travel, oh, but I'm drawing, so it's fine. I think in some ways I went to photography route instead because I didn't want to pursue learning to draw. But right, doesn't it sound fun? I go with photography instead because it is a different skill set and you can still do pretty good without having to have the technical. less hand-based skills, I suppose, in photography. You still need the same like composition, lighting, time of day, subject, focal lens, like, then all the editing afterwards for all the balance. Like this, it's definitely an art, but it's a different type of art, though still visual. But about 3 years ago, let's say 3 years ago, let's be generous with myself. 3 years ago, I'm like, okay, this time by God, I'm going to learn to draw. And so to that end, I purchased an iPad. Seen here, iPad. This is an iPad. You can see the Procreate at the top here, Procreate. I bought an iPad. I bought an Apple Pencil. There was like some Apple developer conference or something where they announced the new iPads. They announced the new Apple Pencil. I'm like, now let's strike with iron hot. So I went and I purchased said iPad, purchased that Apple Pencil, got it all set up, got all the equipment. I'm like, now that I spent all this money on technical gear that I spent way too much time researching, by the by, I'm going to learn to draw. And so I went and I got a Udemy class, I believe. I got a Udemy class or Coursera, doesn't matter, one of those two learning platforms. And I started following it. I got like some distance into it. I think it was art for game development because at the time I was really deep into indie game development in Unity. And one of the bottlenecks I ran into frequently was art. Art is hard. You can't acquire free assets for game development and have it look cohesive. You lose that like, there's a cohesion, straight up cohesion. So I was like, oh, I'll learn to draw and make it myself. And that's part of like my appeal at the time of game dev. It's like you can do all these like little, all the facets of it. You can take a break and learn one thing, then come back to it later, blah, blah, blah. So I bought an iPad. I bought an Apple Pencil. I bought Procreate. Ta-da. Did I learn to use Procreate? I learned undo. And by unlearned, by saying I learned undo, I have a tab open right now in front of me called Gestures in Procreate because I forgot how to do it. I got the color wheel. What I did do recently is I imported a picture of myself. Gosh, a picture of myself, so charming. Over here, picture of myself. Import a picture of myself. Hello. So handsome. And then a close-up picture of myself. Ah, so good looking, can you say? And I imported my color palette because I've done this before where I've used all the assets like hidden layer, cancel. Oh no. All the assets like whoop, 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 whoop. This border here, this long border, the stars behind me, all those things I made with Affinity Creative Suite. So that's like Affinity Designer and Photo. And for that, I already created a color palette for myself where I just like, I have a 3x5 grid of colors. So like light, dark, like a light, medium, dark, orange, brown, green, blue, and that's my main colors, my color palette. So I wanted to get a color palette for myself today for here. But bought the iPad, signed up for the class, started going through the classes. And we can see if we go to my gallery, which this is the like, let's drink more of this pumpkin beer here. The moment of embarrassment. And I'm like, as I was setting up all this equipment, which I'll get to in a second, I will start to draw at some point after stalling, after a good solid stall here. I'm setting context. This is a context setting. It's very important. It's very important to set context. I was setting this up. So this is an iPad. I bought the iPad. And I was like, how do I stream from an iPad to OBS? And there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of janky ways. A lot of jank in the world. It's like, oh, if you're streaming from an Apple laptop, you can just hook your iPad up, have it extend screen onto the desktop, and I'm like, okay, I'm not streaming from my Apple laptop. That's out. Okay, fine. Okay. It's like Wi-Fi solutions that like essentially cast your iPad to a desktop PC. And like, okay, option. However, whenever I'm not sure if I'm just inherently a curmudgeon inherently a Luddite, but whenever a technology solution involves Wi-Fi or any sort of wireless connection through your local network, I'm just like, it's going to go great for 2 streams. Then it's going to fail, and I'm going to get very frustrated with it. For example, me tracking right here. This is through an iPhone, but I paid to get the hardwired USB connection because I don't trust wireless. I think it's both based on experience and working at various points in big tech. I'm like, I don't trust. Give me like copper cable to an input, hard lined in. So I have my iPad. It's outputting via HDMI. That's the adapter I had to buy for this. The HDMI is going to a 4K capture card that I purchased to stream Bloodborne for my PlayStation. And then that is getting piped here to OBS. So it's a very expensive solution if I think about it. But the more I do it, the more that cost gets spread over stream. So per stream, cost drops. Win-win. So I took online class. I'm going to show you my folders for the online classes because I was deeply afraid of accidentally showing something on this screen here. Most of just on circles. This screen, because what if I like PI information, like a text comes in or like something like that. So I'm like, turn off Wi-Fi. I'm like, okay, what if I want to create anything and they see my previous like attempts at drawing? I'm like, you know what? Let's just show everybody, avoid that shame spiral and go in. So I've done a couple attempts. For example, like a character art school where you're like, you know, drawing hands and things. This was like my last attempt about a year ago at drawing. It's going through the process of like, oh, what? And I've gone through the start of classes a lot. So like, oh, just draw the geometry of like, you know, the geometric portions of a body. And then you go over it again a couple times to get the shape. Like I've done these things before. My challenge has always been like committing, especially committing to the bit of learning to draw. I'll commit to a comedy bit, no question. Committing to a drawing, it's a lot harder to build that habit up when you're not used to it. This was my latest attempt. It was a figure drawing class, or cartoon figure drawing class, I should say. That was one attempt. Here's like the game dev attempt was like, here's the last one. The last one I did, saying drawing castles was like the last assignment I did before I dropped this one. I got like some decent results. I was pretty happy with this middle result here. It's like find some inspiration images on the right, sketch it out, and then like add like, you know, all your layers and things. I'm like, okay, I did fine there. Fine, question mark. When working in game dev, I did a bunch of like game art. Like here's my status icons. I drafted up. Why do I want to draw? Why I want to draw is something I'm like deeply getting into a philosophical question with myself of why do I want to draw? And I still don't know if it's a romanticized idea of myself of being able to draw or actually want to draw. For now though, so in the past I've had different motivations. The motivation now is drawing stream content. So that was a great prep question, great setup. Definitely not a paid actor to set up that question. As you can see my terrible handwriting on my iPad here. So the things I want to draw, and the reason I want to draw are thumbnails. I feel like I was thinking about like the iPad. I'm like, oh, I could just like teach a class. Like, all right, everyone, today we're learning about latent Dirichlet allocation, and we're going to learn about some sweet ML algorithms. We're not doing that because that'll scare away everybody, and no one wants a science or a machine learning course taught by a VTuber. Well, maybe they do. Maybe people do. Content niche to explore. So thumbnails for stream, for example. Ooh. I said for example way before I was actually ready to do anything. Today's thumbnail for today. Oh god, it took up the whole stream. Like I want to make a thumbnail, but I can't draw yet. So instead I took a screenshot of my hand. Oh, move my whole body. This is the wrong application. So I took a screenshot of my hand. Said hand. Look at my hand. I took a screenshot of my hand, and I just drew it, layered it in a pencil. And then as I was doing this, I was looking at it, and I'm like, my God, that is not how you hold a pencil. And I was trying to think of like, what is the most sane, logical way I could get holding a pencil into this hand pose. And like, my friends, okay, chat, this is not how you hold a pencil. This is not how I hold a pencil. But being able to draw art or basic shapes even. Okay, I drew this one with a mouse. I drew this on a mouse. This is on me. Basic shapes for thumbnails is definitely a big motivator for me. I want to be able to have like, oh, now I'm going to be streaming like Dyson Sphere project and be like, okay, it's just like, here's like, you know, here's my sun, here's my sphere. It could be all like, here's the sun, and like, oh, here's my little planet, and like little ships going back and forth. This is bad. I'm looking at OBS, the screen on my left here with chat, instead of actually looking at my iPad for drawing. Which I guess how like Wacom tablets work. But like, oh, here's the sun, and then like there's a bad angry guy here in space, and like, so essentially drawing thumbnails for streams is one thing I definitely want to get good enough so I can like do that relatively quickly. So thumbnails are one thing I want to draw instead of I was actually going to say something about that image, but I removed it. So thumbnails definitely up there, and I can do thumbnails now with like just image composition, but being able to draw even something that's basic is going to help a lot in that regard. So that's one reason, thumbnails. Then if I go here, the other is, oh, geez, I keep cutting, I keep leaning. Look at that lean. Center myself. Thumbnails is one. It's funny because like saying this now that I'm out here saying it out loud sounds a bit vain. Complete selected. Myself. So art of Samish, me. For both thumbnails, for like banners, for just general usage. I like the idea of marketing assets. Okay. There's also handwriting reveal. Marketing assets. Look. Okay, chat. Before anyone says anything, I'm a doctor. I have terrible handwriting. It comes with the territory. We're just gonna leave it at that. Marketing assets. So, pictures of my fan art, myself. I think on my loading screen, I'd like the idea to be like, I'm gonna do a bunch of like different versions of myself in different styles and put them on my loading screen. Right now I have one. I have a little Sanish I drew over here. Little Sanish, look at this guy. I made a little, oh God, second. Apparently to lock everything. Lock that, keep that open. Little Sanish here. I made this guy with vector art. So this was made with Affinity Designer. Most of my drawing and art experience has been vector art and not pixel art. Okay. I've done pixel art, but not raster layers. Drawing, essentially. In fact, not drawing. So a little Sanish here. You can see once you make them bigger, you can see the vectorization. We're gonna keep them small. So marketing assets. I'll put myself right there. Marketing assets. There we go. Another thing that I thought would be fun would be emojis. Emojis would be fun to draw. There's like classic, like, it's fun if you go into like YouTuber art commission websites, you'll see a lot of the same kind of, it's like almost like a stock standard set of emojis. It's like the one I see a lot is like, it's a heart, and then it's like the character hugging the heart, so you have like a little arm coming here, a little hand, and then like, you know, a character at the top. And like you have a little heart emoji, or like, you know, this was the first thing I wanted to draw is like self-portrait, but like got that, and like hair like that. You got your cool looking eyes, got your mouth. You got almost an invisible nose, but I still have a nose. And then it's just like, you know, absolutely just like sobbing emoji. Ears important. Ears are a big differentiator. So emojis are up there on like things I'd want to be able to draw. And some of these like emojis are blissfully small enough that like once you shrink it down, you hide a lot of sins. And that's both for like personal use in Discord, Twitch. I think you can do custom per stream. Yeah, exactly. Sanish sob. You can do custom emojis in Twitch for chat. I don't know how that works. I'm not sure if you have to hit affiliate before you get that, but that's one aspect. Why does it track me drinking like that? So thumbnails, marketing assets, emojis. Long term, like this is almost like it's like almost priority order here. Oh, come on. Oh no. I shrunk it too much. I thought there was a way to like get snapped back to size. There we go. Okay, 1 second. Gestures. Procreate, how do you reset your pinch to rotate? Yes. Quick pinch to fit screen. There we go. Ha! I knew having this Procreate interface and gestures tab open would pay off. I think eventually, it'd be really neat. One challenge when I went to commission my current outfit was essentially providing a mood board, provide a like, here's what I want to look like, right? And for that, it was like gathering a bunch of references and being like, oh, I kind of like this vibe, or I kind of like this vibe, or like, I want to be this tall, and like, I want to be this age, and I want to have like these ears. And fun fact, not my original ear shape. I had to redraw these ears to get the right point to them. So outfits, new outfits, outfits, very important. Like I see some outfits and I feel like I'm already starting to get ideas of what like a potential Sanish 2.0 outfit would look like. That's like 9 months out though. That's like one secret pregnancy away. So, cause that's gonna take some time. Though to be fair, if I look at my budget priorities, I just bought $450 of figurines today. Or I look at like my recent rent increase. I'm like, ugh, that rent increase could have paid for a new model every 2 months. Deep sob. So being able to draw myself and being like, I want an outfit like this, but you know, good. Making feature art for a model is a lot of work. And I think that's like 5 years. That's like 5 years of dedicated practice and effort to get to that skill level. And I acknowledge I'm not going to be there yet. But if I can draw like, here's what I would like to commission for even outfits or just other art, like wallpapers. Wallpaper art, being able to like sketch out reasonably what I'd want out of that would be nice. It'd be nice to be able to do that. Oh, sorry, Heart Danish. Delete you here. Goodbye. Delete all these things. And one thing that always inspired me, like art style that inspired me outside of like generic anime drawing, let's be real, is I've always wanted to be able to draw my D&D characters. I've always seen art of like D&D character art, and it's always like something about the particular aesthetic where it's not anime, right? It's definitely a Western aesthetic, but it does take some, I feel, design elements and ideas from like anime character design. I've always wanted to be able to draw that, like, oh, here's my character, and I'm going to draw that character. I've done it before. I'm going to show this because, like, this is the one I was like super embarrassed about showing, so we're just going to rip off that band-aid. Here we go. Here's my necromancer wizard character for one campaign that lasted like 4 sessions. Obviously, I gave up on hands. I'm like, whoa, buddy, hands are beyond me. And the terrifying eyes. We'll ignore the terrifying eyes. But they were in a band, and it was an emo necromancer playing the xylophone. So here they are with the xylophone. There's a little sandwich in the corner here. But it was my first attempt sketch with the kind of that metal skull paint face paint. Oh, great. All right, there we go. Shut down stream. I don't have to be embarrassed about anything on here. Perfect. Got rid of embarrassing things. I have airplane mode on, so I'm not gonna get like random Discord messages popping up being like, your stream's terrible. But this is kind of like what I'm interested in drawing. This is all like, I mean, honestly, almost all of this D&D characters. Oh God. My terrible handwriting's coming to the fore here. I can read that. That's what matters. I can read it. Like, this is all streaming. Not streaming. Though I might draw a D&D character on stream. Because why not? But honestly, all this is like, will I practice? Like, I have goals. I kind of know where I want to be. So it's a question of what is a good way to... Comics? I don't know. It's funny, I've read a lot of webcomics. Been reading webcomics for like, what, 2 decades now, off and on. And like, you obviously don't need you need a visual identity. And that's one thing that I'm like, okay, let me just do some side goal here. Trick this guy. So like, side goals outside of like what content to draw would be like, in some ways, if it happens, be nice to like find a visual identity. Like, what do my drawings look like? Right, I know some different VTubers and streamers have leaned into a particular type of drawing, or particular like niche or genre, and I don't know if one, I'll inevitably have one, or if I'm drawn to a particular one. I think most of all of this stuff up here, this content almost all comes down to just like character art in a lot of ways. So finding visual identity would be nice. I guess travel sketching would be off stream, but it's another fun aspect. It could be for like a not direct content goal. And realistically, just like get better at art. Like, I'm pretty good with photography. Photography, I feel like I'm actually like not half bad. I can compose a good photo. I can color balance it. Not professional level. I've seen some amazing photography. We've all seen some amazing photography. Anyone can take a picture nowadays with like an iPhone, Android phone, Pixel, whatever. But I still feel like it takes a level of training is not the right word. Maybe training is the right word. Like training, skill, practice to develop a good eye for what makes a good photo. So like, just composition, lighting, depth of field, like what is bokeh? Oh goodness, no. Mm-mm. Right out. I think I'm not that interested in realistic drawings, and I just like, I can feel like the social anxiety welling on my chest even thinking about it. It's like, now if it was like a paint and sip wine event, perhaps. No need to apologize. If I thought to myself, oh, what if someone asked about life drawing? I'd be like, you know what? I can answer that question, it's fine. But now I'm physically thinking to myself in that environment. I'm just like, whew, not for me. But like, because this is all like, all of this, a big bracket, is all in my mind pencil drawing. This isn't getting into painting. This isn't getting into color so much. I think that like, and shading, that's like a potential next level. I think my first step is like basic drawing of just like, you know, here's top of my head, here's the ears, here's the chin. Ooh, that was too pointy, too foxy. Chin, you know, eyes, hair comes down. I have a second set of ears here. Like, this isn't getting into shading at all, which is a whole nother like skill set. And I mean, I'll probably get into shading. It does seem kind of fun, kind of loose. You know, you shade yourself real quick, pick a darker color. Ear tips, green eyes. I look so angry in this photo. Oh, that's shading pen. Oh God. it's like the whole thing. What is the whole thing? And like, one thing that's always intimidated me about drawing programs in particular is the brush selection. It's like, my God, if you're trying to start and like, you're looking at this brush library, what do you pick among all these things? And it is like a bit intimidating, though. Like, I mean, it's a bit, it's a bit intimidating like that. Let's delete all this here. So what I settled on like a long time ago was I think I downloaded them. Is a G pen and a shading pen, and then just picking that, because like, even though drawing, it's like there's a lot here. Painting, and some is like fine, like this. Obviously what I imported here was like the G pen style, which is kind of, think what the default pen is for drawing like manga. And so that's why I kind of like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick that. I have two pens. I have a pen and I have a shading pen, and we're gonna start there before, and limit myself to these before venturing into everything else. Like, some of these that would be fine. I think for me, the idea of drawing in pen is much more natural, because that is when I use to take notes. I use like a fine liner to take notes versus a pencil. Though pencil, I'm sure, has like a different like angle to angle the pen, the Apple Pencil. So let's make a new layer. Let's get rid of this layer. So my goals for today, for this stream in particular, was to start by drawing a self-portrait of me, Stanish, which I've already done some quick sketches that were just terrifying. So my goal is to do a sketch of myself, maybe shade it. We'll see if I want to shade it. I have a lot of shading. I have a lot of shading in my hair there. You can see like the little halo at the top. But it's the goal. I've stalled for a good solid 40 minutes now. It's a good stall. Sorry. I'm amused whenever I drink any liquid or any beverage. The face I make cracks me up. Look, if I can... Whew, good procrastination. I even have other notes of things to talk about that aren't drawing in case I wanted to stall some more. Maybe after. So for drawing this, I'm going to, for a reference, I'm actually going to put a reference of myself on screen. Because I'll be looking at the iPad instead of up at the computer monitor. I'll look up occasionally to see the... look up... There you go. I'll look up occasionally just to see what chat is doing. But... And part of this is like almost, honestly, like... I just say there's something on layer 4. Refamiliarize myself with Procreate. One thing I did buy a while ago, and I do feel it makes a difference, is I bought one of those, like, what they're called. Like, it's a texture, instead of a screen protector for my iPad, it's like a textured matte screen protector to make it feel more like you're writing on paper than a smooth glass surface. And that's something I bought. I bought it between my attempts of like, I'll buy this and that's how I'm going to get better at drawing. That'll motivate me. Instead, I've just been using it as an anti-glare filter when I'm playing Honkai Star Rail against Impact at my desk. And I'm almost done stalling. I swear I'm almost done stalling. My iPad has gone from a hopeful vehicle to learn to draw to a Genshin Impact Honkai Star Rail device for travel and also during like really long status meetings, like a really long status, like an all hands. Great time to grind in a gacha game. Hand down the best. Also use a journal and travel. It's my travel device. But we're gonna draw. Okay, lean forward here. I'm not sure what it looks like when I lean forward. I look a little sinister. It locks into like my max forward lean. Okay, let's get the stretch. Have one more drink here. Okay. Let's draw myself. First off, put myself here. I'm not going to trace because I'm not going to trace. Now, one issue I've always had, and I've gone through a bunch of tutorials. One I didn't show in this gallery was it was like what's it called? It's called like Drawbox. Yeah, it's called like Drawbox, where it's like all about fundamentally like how to draw like, you know, confident straight lines instead of like, you know, draw a straight line instead of like a little hashy sort of thing. I'm not going to say some of us couldn't stick with it, but like this is a theme. It is a strong theme with me and a lot of hobbies where I'm like, I have to make it a routine. And once I get something as routine though, we are solid. I made running into routine, so I don't have to like, I now, instead of having to tell myself I need to run, I get this feeling like, oh, I haven't run in a couple days. I need to go for a run. Which is great. So I just need to turn drawing into routine, or drawing practice, I should say, into routine. And so I hope the list of goals, yonder goals, I also have a terrible face tattoo, is definitely up there. Yes, I think it's the balance of like being able to draw, like, honestly, the straight line is less of a thing. Being able to draw a circle, like, the best circle here. Getting nervous. Like being able to, okay, circle. Being able to draw like a decent circle is useful, because then it's like, okay, I need to draw like, you know, I need to draw a body. So I need the circle. I need like, you know, triangle base, and then, you know, the chest, and then like your shoulders and like, you know, your hands, your really long arms. And so like I know you need to like be able to draw the basic shapes to like sketch out a what is it? Head isn't like strictly a sphere. It's like it's like a triangle in a sphere. There we go. Ooh. That portion's terrible. Like I know you need to like egg. I've seen triangle and sphere, but it's like I know the actual proportions are face. Like okay, it's like an egg, and like your eyes are in the center, like your ears at the midpoint, and you're like 5 eyes across, and you're like this many eyes down. I've gone through all those proportions sort of things, but and that's the nice thing about digital art is that you can just like undo, delete, but also like, you know, you add a layer and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go alpha. Where's alpha? There's alpha lock. Oh, alpha lock. Oh, I was gonna. Is it mask? Oh, definitely not that. Undo. Okay. Oh, here it is. N. You know, you cut the opacity down, and you're like, okay, now we're gonna take this, and we're gonna just draw here, and then we're gonna draw on a new layer, and like, you know, actually draw out everything smoothly. That really wonky waistline, and then you hide the other layer and you're like, oh look, I made a terribly wiggly individual. Delete those layers. So yeah, the hashing marks is fine and reasonable for like building things up. So I'm trying to like not feel like I have to draw like perfectly like, you know, straight lines, but I also don't want to be like constantly kind of like little hashy lines. So I know there's like the snap circle functions and like the you know, if you draw a line, you hold it, you can draw a straight line or like circle. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. On the one hand, it seems very useful, right? If you're like trying to draw something. But part of me, like a deep core of me, it's gonna sound weird, doesn't want to rely on digital assistance. I don't know why. I don't know why I have this feeling, but it's like, if let's say I got used to, like, so I was gonna say draw my head here. I was gonna like, let's draw my head, very round, and I'm like, oh, it's not quite right. Let me just like, come on. I need to like squish it in a little bit and like move it over and like rotate it a bit. Like if I worry about that becoming a crutch. And so if I ever want to go to a different program, or if I want to like just have a notepad and draw like on actual honest to God paper, I won't be able to the same level as I expect of myself because of a reliance on the digital tools. Exactly. Yeah. Like, for example, in my work, my day-to-day job, I sometimes need to write things out that are using business jargon and business phrasing and business framing, or some routine code, for example. And recently, and by recently mean like last week, using like a chat GPT to write that, to start that for me based on inputs, and then tweak it after that to suit what I want, feels fine, because writing that basic framework is something I know myself can do, and I'm just using it as a shortcut to save me time on something I know I can do. So I'm not I don't feel like I'm skipping a step. It's more like I know I can do that step. So there's no reason for me to prove to anybody when I can use a machine to do it for me. And so that's why for like using the second. Why did the song so strident? Skip that song. So using the autofill, like even though this is going to be, I point the pencil at the iPad, but there's no actual like, there's not like a your cursor is here sort of thing. So like drawing something like this guy doesn't. I assume I will get, if I get to a point where I can draw this circle, this egg shape reliably, like, oh, I know that I can like, you know, I can freeform this and maybe it'll take a couple tries and I'll like, you know, need to refine it on this layer and then I'll come back in another layer and like do it again. Or if I know that like I'm translating this over to a vector program. So when I made like this artwork for a game, for example, I knew I would be taking these sketches into Affinity Design, which is essentially Illustrator, and overlaying them with vector art. Something like this seems fine for me. Like, for some reason, it seems fine to me to use those like line tools because I know I'll be using vector art later. But for where I am now, I kind of want to freehand everything and see where it is. I will say, I know there's like a clear canvas, but I do kind of like aggressively erasing things. Good 15-minute stall there. Perfect. So what's my face look like? Oh, there's no shape for handsome. Whew. Crack myself up. Very important. Very important. Highly recommend everyone Kit Chat. Learn to make yourself laugh. 10 out of 10 life skill. If I can't make myself laugh, who can? Oh, we don't need warm up. I've done so many like I'm gonna move my mouse over here. You start with like this is what I do. Use the line tools. Is you almost draw like sheet music, which is kind of funny, and then you essentially try to draw circles. Right? You're like hands cramping up just thinking about this. Kind of take a couple swipes, draw a circle, move on. The other thing is it's hard because like part of me wants to do, I think it's probably a beginner thing of just like planting my hand on the page and then using just like, oh, it feels bad to do it actually. Just use like this is me using my fingers to draw a circle. Oh, it feels bad. I know I shouldn't, and I see why. Versus drawing like, you know, from the shoulder, as they say. My chair's a little low. Pop myself up here. Or like I should be like probably standing, even better. I'm not gonna stand for a stream. But like, kind of using your full arm, your full shoulder to kind of like draw some circles. Ooh, let's get a little better there. I know warm up is important. I had the same problem with learning and teaching myself pianos. I just don't want to warm up. I know you should. I know it's important. Everyone's like, you should warm up first. I'm like, no, I'm going to cold sight read play this and then wonder why it doesn't sound good. And then get discouraged and quit. Piano's another skill that to me has fallen into the deep same category as drawing of like really want to be able to do it. But the tenacity to practice, it's tough. It's tough, everybody. Art is tough. Art is tough, especially when you spend your whole life being told you're good at math and science and not particularly encouraged or like forced, perhaps even, to practice artistic skills. Or as I've told or as I've told my parents, is you didn't give me enough trauma to inspire me in art. Very sad. Draw some circles. Look at this warm-up. Look at me learning to draw. Is this what success looks like? Now, if I was smart, does this impact my glasses, my pen? I don't know if this mic picks up. I hope it does. I would have done this on 2 separate layers. All right. Clear. How do you clear it? Gesture. Dear Procreate thing I've opened up. There's a button to do 3-finger tap, 3-finger scrub, scrub out layer, 3 fingers side to side, bam. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. I'm most surprised when gestures in apps work. Goes back to my deep distrust of technology. It's like, wow, it worked. Kind of like when I bought a bunch of like bunch of the hue lights for color changing. I was just shocked. I was shocked when they all work together and they do what I expect them to do. I'm just like, is tech allowed to work? I wonder where my deep distrust and trauma around technology stems from. No. I know where that stems from. Here, I'll draw where that stems from. Here we go. So here's. I'm gonna draw an office chair. It's got some legs with the wheels on them. It's got one of these. I guess part of me does want to draw cartoons now that I think about it. So here's me. And now imagine this stick figure. This stick figure is me sitting in a chair. How do you draw a stick figure sitting? Shit, that's like a deep question. So my shoulders are right here. So we're gonna go. Boom, boom. I'm always slouching. Quick, my legs, my body. So here's me. Here's my shoulder, head. Here's my glasses. Here's me being sad. There we go. And here's me working on. So here's like a lab bench. This is why I distrust technology. This is a custom. It's like, here's the wall. Here's the front leg, the back leg. Here is an oscilloscope with a bunch of knobs on it. So many knobs on this oscilloscope. It's plugged into the wall like this. And then over here is another device. Let's say it's say it's a voltmeter. Say it's a voltmeter 2. There's a BNC cable. I know, I lied. Don't trust what the VTuber says. I'm nothing but a pile of lies built on top of each other. It's all a facade. Actually, kind of like, now that it's darker, let's draw this out a little bit. Here's me sitting and slouching with my noodle legs. It's real Nagatoro art style here. Here's my head. There we go. Bold lines. Me and happy. I have hair. And then we're gonna grab this. Beautiful. Fox ears. There you go. Like a cone hat. Second ear in the background. This deep distrust of technology stems from probably me working in a lab. Here's me working in a lab. This is what this is. Me working in a lab on this oscilloscope. Spending, let's say, oh gosh, actually it stems from the arm, not my front. Working on an oscilloscope, trying to debug why something wasn't working. Like the signal just wasn't coming through. I was expecting to see, it was like doesn't matter what I was supposed to see. It was a GPS signal. I was supposed to see it on an oscilloscope. I wasn't seeing it. And spending so much time debugging it, going to the roofs to check the GPS antenna, coming back down, looking at the voltmeter, looking at the oscilloscope, being like, why isn't this working? It's not working. Let's say a week. Let's say I spent a week on this. And the problem, in the end, and this is why I'm traumatized. This is why I'm traumatized to this day for this very reason. It was the cable. It was the cable connecting the oscilloscope to the device that was broken, or not broken, frayed to the point of intermittently connecting. Connectors at the top and bottom, perfectly fine. Those are working, no issues. Somewhere in like this length of cable, it was busted. And so I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized about technology. I don't trust things. I ask the dumb questions. When people are having computer issues, I'm like, are you using the right cable? Does the cable work? Is it plugged into the wall correctly? Because my God. That's why I don't trust technology. Or one of the many reasons. The other was seeing how working at a tech company, you see it how it's made and you're just like, I'm not trusting this. I'm not trusting anything to anybody. I'm going to go live in a cabin in the woods, have absolutely no technology, live fully analog, get into vinyl records, maybe work at a used vinyl record shop, just reject everything about modernity and stick with analog solutions. Which I realize you could say Sanish. It's a bit hypocritical coming from an internet foxboy. To which I say, too bad. It's a bit hypocritical. But I think the difference is, one is like life and work. Well, not life, work and like employment things. It's very frustrating. But VTubing is like, there is a sweet spot. There's a sweet spot between like technology not working and it working perfectly. I've just like technological jank that's just like scuffed together in like a duct tape patchwork of like systems and technologies, and you just like, you get it to work and it's super fragile and you're just like, don't touch it. Absolutely don't touch it. And I feel VTubing is that stage and that level of like patching together technological stuff in like a trash pile you're living in and exist in. Oh, 10 out of 10. That's how I live my life. You could gussy it up. You could say, oh, it's technical. It's a glue roll in an organization, and it's holding things together, and you're bringing clarity and getting things done. It's like, no. I'm just like, I'm a raccoon roll. I'm a fox rolling in my trash pile, just happy as can be that I'm just like patched together just barely to get what we need. And you automate it and just holding on, and then it runs for 2 years, and you're just like, I'm great. I froze. I am so good at what I do. And then a professional looks at it and they just like have a look of horror and disgust on their face, and you're like, I did what I had to do. You weren't there. You haven't seen the things I've seen. In short, I'm a terrible person is what it comes down to. Oh, I love scuffing jank together to get to work, especially when I'm getting paid to do it. But all that said, I forgot how I got here. So I'm drawing myself. In short, I'm probably not going to be using the auto snap lines. Whew. I got called out for stalling like 24 minutes ago. And look at me here with a blank page still. Drink some water, hydrate. Here's important. Drawing myself. What shapes comprise my head? Besides, obviously, we have comparison. We're gonna start with, we're gonna have 2 ears. So ears, ear. Ooh, nope. This is gonna be the base layer. So this is gonna be my sketch layer here. I'm gonna have like my head's back here a little bit. I don't think I'll do too much about it. So if I just do a rough sketch, there's an ear, and I have an ear, boop, 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 and then I have a bit of a jaw comes down, a little jaw right there. You see a little bit of a jaw, and then it kind of goes straight into kind of the anime point there. Just center of my head. Comes like an anime point. So then top of my ear comes down, and ear we go. Up here. I mean, realistically, this should be a continuation line should do it. The bottom of my ears here, so a continuation line like this. Kind of like a, it's kind of like a pointer. Oh, my head's at an angle. My head's at an angle here. Oh, it's going to be more like this, and then, and so this stuff. I'm way off. So here, and then my jaw is like. That's fine. That's fine. We're winging it. We're doing it live. This is my downfall. So I look at like this basic shape. I think like me. I'm not going to draw over myself. I definitely have like a there's a circle here. Right? Like a circle, and then a triangle is like kind of the basic shape with a little divergence for the jaw. Okay. I don't need perfect. I don't need to be perfect. I'm just gonna wing this instead. So we're gonna have like a circle, and then probably like it's almost like a 3/4 down. And then another, so I'm looking here. I'm gonna look at this to this distance. We're gonna call it there. Come down to my pointy chin. My pointy chin, huh? I'm still asymmetric. That's fine. It's fine. It's a process. Kind of like my head shape looks like. And then the ears don't actually start here. I think that's what I'm running to. It's like if we go up. Draw this. You know, we're gonna draw the whole head. We're gonna draw the whole head here. The whole head, and then we're gonna delete some of these lines and get them out of the way. Goodbye, ears. Oh, my ears. I use this to listen. Oh, that's an. Now I look bald. That's another thing to draw for drawing is you can draw accessories and pin them to yourself. So I could draw like. And I've seen other streamers do this, and I kind of like it. They draw an outfit for the current game they're playing, and they pin it to their model. So it's like a flat static image that would be like over my sweater. So it'd be like, oh, I'm playing, let's say I was playing like Dark Souls, playing Elden Ring. I could draw like some Elden Ring armor, oh God, and like just paste it on myself, or just like a helmet, or like have a sword and a little hand holding it like often like in the corner here, like a little goofy hand with like a holding a sword, but like have it pinned to my model so it move with my model sort of thing on the overlay. This head is not looking great. You know what? I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna start over a little more deliberate. I need a circle to start. I think that's my. So height-wise, top of my head should be here. If I look at the circle that is me, it comes down to like nose level, so like about here, and then my chin is. Is that really my proportions? I have a big head. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Okay, so we're gonna go. Oh, delete that. Okay. There we go. Better. And then triangle is. I know some of these Baldur's Cake you said egg shape for head, but I'm not sure if that's like what anime proportions look like. So it comes down to like this. Oh yeah, I'm feeling better about this shape. Go up. I'm doing the thing where I said not to be sketchy. On the top of my head. Top of my head. Okay, there we go. in a way, I'm kind of like, I'm at a slight angle here. I'm almost looking down at this drawing. So you can see like a little eye socket right there. This is my mouth, not my, oh no, that is my nose. Okay, that's fine. Ears are kind of like, ears look like, go down. And of course, the unaddressed mystery of life, the fact that I have two sets of ears. We don't talk about that. It's a very personal thing to bring up with Fox Boys, is their number of ear situation. Got that ear there, and then oh, that's way better. That's way better. And then ears, my ears, they start kind of like, once the head peaks up, it's like I have big ears, don't I? Let's not think about my interior anatomy of my head. Kind of like come down at an angle. Ears are devil horns, kind of look the same. Then we go on this side. So almost like the edge of the mouth. Ears like this, okay? Okay, pretty good, pretty good. The ears come in like a little bit farther than the top of the head. We're not drawing my little agao yet. Agao. Okay, and then the ears have interior fluff, so they're going to be like bum, bum. Actual ear hole itself. Kind of like that, and this is like bum, 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 bum. Up and then like so. I'm not gonna, we'll come back to the hair. Hair is tough. I should probably start using layers at some point, but yeah. Now that I said it out loud, I'm making a layer. I got spooked by my own overconfidence. Okay, so I have eyes. Oof. So first off, my nose is like, that's the size of my nose. I do have a nose. I do have a nose. I swear. I swear. We'll get an audit in here. I do have a nose. I keep hitting my mic with my pencil. Yeah, okay, it does sound like I'm hitting my mic with my pencil. I'm sorry. Scoot my mic over a little bit. Okay, so my nose is vaguely this area. So for mouth, delete that there. What does my mouth look like? Just kind of like a, oh. Mouth there, a little lower lip. Let's put one little tooth out, one little snaggle tooth out. There we go. So I do have fangs, light canines. I'll put one in. Okay, so I got my nose done. Perfect. That is like, look at this, like, look at this nose rendition. It's a top quality nose drawing. One thing I do like about digital art, and I've always liked since I took my first digital art class in sophomore of high school. I love layers. I love drawing in layers. I like layers in drawings. I like being able to manipulate layers. I like the separation of things, so you can be like, let me try drawing something like a wacky eye, like, oh, that's terrible, and you just like delete it without impacting the things below it. Oh, give me a good layering system in your software any day, and I am a happy Fox boy. When I was using Canva to make my schedules, hello, Clarion. Welcome to join for me attempting to draw myself here. I was saying when I was using Canva Canva's layering system and how that UI worked just did not fit and didn't jive at all how I thought about things. So Procreate layers, 10 out of 10. Affinity design programs, 10 out of 10 layers. Photoshop, Illustrator, great layering. If you have bad layering support in an art program, you've lost me. You've lost me. It depends. It depends. If it is a art project that I'll be reusing on the regular, I am layer lawful. My schedule template, layer lawful. Everything is in the layer. Everything is in, all the objects are grouped together. Those groups are together in one overarching group. Those groups are named like Saturday offline, Saturday online, for example, as layer names. Everything I don't change is in their own layers and locked. So I lock the layers as necessary so I don't click on them again. So it makes it very easy for me to go in and re-edit my schedule as needed. That said, the thumbnail art for today, which was a quick one-off, not labeled, but it was made in unlabeled. The Foxtsu spicy quote reading stream. That thumbnail, not labeled. So if I'm going to be reusing it and I see the inherent benefit of adding the layers and organizing them, I will. And that goes with a lot of my work, professionally, personally. If I know I'm going to be doing something more than one, if I ever think I'm going to be doing something more than once, I pay the upfront cost to make it super easy, reusable, and modular going forward. If I don't think I'll be using it more than once, I jank something together and hope for the best. Then I find out that I'm using it a lot and I come to have deep regret. And that is a story of how I play factory games. Layer efficient. I strive for efficiency in all things I do. Not all things. Most things I do. I look at that ROI and I do that calculation on the fly in my head and I say, we're naming nothing, we're janking it all up, and then we're going to print it out, push it to prod, tweet it out. We are done. We are good to go. So today, layers. Big fan of layers. Let's continue drawing myself. I got the mouth done. And this initial sketch, I got my nose. Now for the two hardest parts, eyes and hair. Oh my God, dear microphone, stop being hit by my pencil. I guess I can scoot over. Okay, we're gonna draw. Look at all this hair in the way of my eyes. My eye shape. Big eyes at the screen. Because the screenshot, okay, what's my other screenshot look like? It's a little better on eyes. Oh, no. Okay. The problem is I took the screenshot with the glasses on. I take my glasses off. I feel like drawing, I need the glasses on for drawing. Also helps to find the fact that I have a nose. We don't think about it. We don't worry about it too much. Delete some of this. Oh. So eyes. You know, I'm gonna do a whole new layer for eyes because I don't trust myself. So I kind of have like I start kind of right by my ear. They honestly start like way farther up than they should. I kind of come in. It's like a straight line, and it comes down to like an angled point, and then we start here. We come down lighter. Ooh, I'm very foxy all of a sudden with this eye. I mean, I have like the actual eye socket is like up here, I suppose. We have some like shading in here, and my actual eyelid is like same thing on this side. Why is it when I draw myself, I always end up looking a little bit more evil than I think I should? What does it say about me as a vision of myself? Oh, I thought something bigger than that. I know the trick should be like I should draw one eye really good and then mirror it to the other side. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw what I just did. I know, I'm a hypocrite. It's fine. So, eye here. Also, like if you're drawing your head, like if you're drawing your face at like an angle, then the idea of like mirroring your eye doesn't work because your eyes aren't going to be symmetric. Like I'm not trying to get like, I'm getting like bat vibes from my current look. That was like a little too. You know what it is? I think these points don't really exist. And like look over here, like my eye over here is way closer to the side of my head than I'm drawing it. My eye's too small. It really should be like over here. How does that look? Worse. How do I undo, redo? Like that. You know what? We'll stay with this. We'll stick with this for a moment, and then we'll go forward. We'll go forward. Maybe if I draw my actual eyebrows, that'll help. Eyebrows are like little sympathetic eyebrows. I look sad. One sad fox boy. And my eyes themselves are like. My eyes just aren't quite. Oh. God, definitely looking a bit evil here. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Redo that one. We're gonna redo that one. So here we come down. There we go. A little better. A little better. Oh. I feel like the chin is a little too pointy. Once I add some hair, it's going to come together. It's going to come together. Oh. That's the problem. I'm looking at this, I'm like, this looks terrible. But hey, you know what? We're here and we're trying. God help us. All right, let's wing some hair real quick. So I have one big piece that starts like up here and kind of comes down. Comes down to like here. Then I have some like two big pieces like here. Is it gonna be where I start running out of my. My hair generally. I've had my hair this long before in my life, and it's like I found that like long hair like this that is like eye level, just like deeply bothers me to a deep degree. Even though I really like the idea of having. Every now and then I think about like, oh man, what if I grew my hair out to be long? And I'm like, I don't have the patience to grow my hair out. like this. Here, this string's actually broken up a little bit. Then here, back here, I do like my little hair down here. Some hair over here, little hair bits sticking out everywhere. Fuzz on the sides. Once I add some color, this is gonna, like, I think, come together a little bit better. Gosh. I said with probably confidence that wasn't applicable. Come on, layer 8, layer 8. I know how to move layers. Combine down, no? I thought I just hold it down and drag it. There we go. Layer 8. Layer 8 is going to be just quick glasses here. Prince Nightlight. I think I'm gonna. Oh, you know what it is? My face is too long. I think the gap here, this part of the face is. Let's try some under shading and hope for the best. So, skin tone. Skin tone. I do have a little bit of shading of the top there. Okay, so that was under layer for the face. Oh, and the nose. That's fine. Should have drawn that. I should have done the separate layers. Alas. This is eyes. Eyes are first off white. Oh God, how do you? I was up here. Procreate. There's a way to do this of like, what's the default for black? There we go. So let's get the eyes in here. I'm not sure what's going on in this drawing anymore. I'm winging it. I got green. I'm doing some quick shading. See how that helps. And this terrible artistic rendition of myself. Ugh. Ugh. This is where I get like I feel like what I can produce is not what I have in my head, and so I get discouraged from practicing a moment. But for you, Kit Chat, I'm going forward. This layer actually. Shoot, what's the? No, I don't know. I just want this to be gold. So honestly, this needs to be a not shading, which is a pen. Throw that there. Then it's kind of a light color. You know, I'm using the auto palette that I imported. I'm gonna call it good. nose bridge. Okay. So that layer. Oh, that's the problem with like the shadings. You got to keep the Wait, where did I? Well, there had the glasses. Oh, I just drew over it. Well, that's life. My bad. I want there to be under. There we go. All right, let's get some orange in this hair. Let's see. Let's start with the dark mid-tone orange. Where's my shading brush? Oh no, that is not. Also, it's not the right orange. I knew I should have imported the right brush. I forgot to draw the ears. A little better, but still. That's better. I forgot I could just like pull the color directly from the eyedropper it from the image. I'm just gonna color this in to make me feel a little better the color. Oof. Please. I'm just gonna say it. There's a reason I paid somebody to draw the image on the left. I'm obviously missing the key lines here, but we're gonna. Draw the ear tips, the fuzzy ear tips. Very important. Gotta get that fuzz right. And then it's colored. I have a highlight band here. Oh man, I can already see them like how this should be drawn versus what I'm doing. It's fine. What am I missing? First off, I realized my face underlayer should be like this, and then under here. Oh, oh Lord. Here. I learned what that does. Okay. I have a pink nose here. A little bit of splotch pink on my nose. A little bit of blush under the eyes. Highlights on my skin highlights. A little bit of the ears. And a little bit above the eyes. A little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, like, oh, I'm doing line drawing, then I'm like, oh, let's do shading. Shading seems fun and easy and kind of doing it pretty easily. Go back to this layer. Regular pen, black. I forgot to draw the actual rest of my ears. I have hair over my ears. Interesting. It kind of goes like up and then kind of in a little bit. Ooh. bump in the ear. I'm gonna ignore that. We'll ignore that together. Kit chat was ignore that mistake I just made. Like this. Oh, what the heck? Don't edit polyline. I'm not sure what edit polyline is, but I know I don't want it. Procreate. Okay, there we go. I actually have ears. Kind of like ears like this, and then we're gonna have some more hair. We have more hair coming down. Just to cover the tips of my ears here. Like that, and then we have some distinctly behind the ears. Ears are terrible. Who decided to draw ears? Up. Cover those ears up. Honestly, did I do that? Oh my gosh, I drew. It's supposed to be a shading layer. I didn't draw on the shading layer. I think I honestly I want like. Oh no. Don't do that. I kind of just wanted like my face needs to be a little bit more. This is a first attempt. This is a first attempt cold drawing. Cold drawing this. No, I know. God, why do I look like I look like a troublemaker. I think that's what's the problem is I'd actually look more innocent, say so, adorable. And this self-portrait is definitely, I'm definitely in troublemaker vibes for myself here on this drawing, which like isn't wrong. However, I look like I just committed a crime. And I'm pretty sure no one's going to find out about it. This is what. New layer at the top here. This expression here is like I just did something bad. I just raided a chicken coop. I raided a chicken coop for those precious eggs. I didn't leave a tip. I took those eggs. I didn't pay for them. There's a little basket that said, you know, $10 a dozen for these free range eggs. I just took those eggs. And left. And I'm so proud of myself. And like, no one's going to catch this petty theft. What this expression says. It's like there's a sign over here that says like, oops. Proud of myself. The vibes I'm getting are over here. There's a sign that says like, eggs. And I like tips welcome. And like in like this little sign in the ground. And like in the basket. It's like a little weave basket here. Handled. I left just like $6. No tip crime. That's my expression. That's what my expression says to me right now. It's like I just paid $6 for these eggs. I didn't leave a tip. I got away with it. And they'll never know. They'll never know it was me. My life of crime starts today. That is what this drawing says to me. That is apparently my inner vibe that I've captured. Well, you know what? you know what? I did it. I drew a self-portrait of myself to start with, and we'll get better. I unveiled my terrible handwriting to the world. It's fine. It's fine. My handwriting is not on trial here. It probably should be. It probably could get better. I've only a couple times in my life have made a cognizant effort to change my handwriting. One of them is I now write, this is like 5th grade. I used to write 7s like this, but they kept getting mistaken and not seen and like misread by the teachers. So now I write 7s like this, which I think is much more elegant to write your 7s this way than like this way. Like, oh, what is this? This is some janky acute angle. This is classy. This is a classy 7. Oh, wait. This was not a calligraphy stream. Man, but watching someone do like some sweet calligraphy with a fountain pen, you're just like, that's some sexy ass calligraphy right there. Like, maybe I should get into fountain pens and calligraphy, and you're like, no. Do not go down that road. We all know here that road for me is 35 hours of in-depth research, trolling Reddit and forum posts to find out what is the most perfect, best, absolute greatest set of calligraphy equipment known to humanity. Buying it for $50, getting it, getting excited for delivery, opening it up, and then never touching it again. That is my calligraphy journey. That is how I see it going forward. And so I used to say, no, not today. We're not going down that path today. I can't, there's like these stray marks over here, like these stray marks. I have no idea what layer they're on, but they're bothering me. Okay, let me find out what layer they're on. This layer. Something's on this layer. Now that layer's hidden. Oh, it's this layer. Nope. Come on. What's on this layer? This guy. I'm also getting like deeply gaslighting myself as like, is this something on my screen in the layer, or am I just seeing? Oh shit! This layer has a bunch of stuff on it. There they are. Okay, thank God. I'm like, am I seeing something on the layer, or is it like actually something on my iPad? I know there's a more efficient way to do this. I'm not going to think about it. So I go too deep into researching technology and like what is the absolute best to do this hobby or this thing. And it's a problem I know I have. I deeply know I have this problem. And in the last 2 years, I've done my best to try to short circuit it and stop myself from doing it. And just like, either like asking myself, like, do I really want to can I get started on this path without investing in money in any way, or buying something, or like doing hours upon hours and oodles of research to find the best optimal thing, and just go with something and hope, and like if it turns out I do love it and I do really want to get into it, at that point look into investing in like the next level. It's kind of like the Harbor Freight philosophy for tools, where you don't buy the best DeWalt power drill or Makita power drill out there. You buy the cheapest one from Harbor Freight to get the job done then, and see if you use it enough to justify getting the nicer, higher quality one. And that's how I started streaming and VTubing, as I went for like, what is the rock bottom thresholds to get started? And then I built from there, because I'm like, oh, I'm enjoying this. I've spent 300 hours doing this. I feel like I can spend money. And now I know also like where it makes sense and worth it to me to spend money, because some random guy on the internet is not going to match that. I deeply feel this way about cooking implements. Is like there's so many gadgets and things, and being like, oh, you get a 12-piece knife set, or like all these fancy kitchen gadgets, and it's like, how do I cook and what do I cook, and let's invest there, and maybe then try things out and then like commit for it. So it's a like a what's the phrase I'm looking for? Not like a cognitive trap, but like definitely a psychological trap I fall into for like becoming a gearhead about something but never actually doing that thing. But I'm always cognizant of it, and I try to fight back. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes it doesn't. I feel I've done a great job of it personally, for streaming, for YouTubing, for being here today, of investing where I am spending my time and enjoying things. Just essentially being mindful of where my money and like time is going. And if anybody knows me for a long period of time or a short period of time, I will agonize over a decision for something for way too long, when realistically I'm just like, I'm spending too much time. I should just buy the thing or do the thing or commit to something and it'll be fine. It's that idea of like packing for a trip is similar. It's like, I'm going to a civilized place. If I don't have toothpaste, they have toothpaste where I'm going. It's fine. But it's something I've used to do way more in the past, and I've gotten better at it. The counterpoint, deep counterpoint to all that, is sometimes it's fine. Sometimes it's fun researching gear and tech stuff. Sometimes it's fun, but where's the balance between it being fun and stopping? When I built my desktop PC, I'm just like, you know what? Someone's going to give me a list. I'm going to say YOLO, buy into that list, hope for the best, thoughts and prayers, and it works. It's fine. It's great. Places I still do probably way too much research than I should, are camera lenses and camera bodies. Researching camera gear. If you ever want a deep, dark hole of technical specifications to go into, get into photography. I highly don't recommend it. But it's great. It's great though. Because like, unlike audio equipment or like, what's the best drawing pad or whatever, it's like, here's side-by-side photos, and if you enhance by 10,000% at this edge, in this weird edge case, this lens is slightly better than this lens. And you're like, oh, that's worth $200. Maybe I'll care about that in the future. And it's like, I don't care about that. Anyway, we're off topic. I think the important thing to do is like, let's compare drawing. Let's see who did it better. Here's me. Here's lined up here. Here we go. Actually, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. I'll take a screenshot. Perfect. All right. I have to put that in Paint. Save it. Save drawing stream. Who drew best, me or Seven Forest? Honestly, I think I look pretty good here. Which one's the original? It is like twins. I'm glad you acknowledge that. Though 2 Sanchez in the world would probably be too much. If we're being honest ourselves here. I feel like in some ways it's like pulling my color palette directly is cheating. Because if I squint from a distance, I'm just like, you know what? That's not so bad. Sure, it's a disembodied head with no neck and no sweater, but that's tough. I think I probably actually did enjoy the shading a bit more, and I don't want to admit that because I feel like that opens up a follow-up conclusion that's like, if you enjoyed the shading more, perhaps you should investigate painting instead. I was like, no, there's too many things. I think I enjoyed shading because I had the drawing to work with. I think the shading by itself, I wouldn't enjoy, but having like, in some ways the shading brings to life the line drawing. Like if I turn off all the shading off. Oh God, oh no. Some of the I did not fully layer properly. So my skin highlights are on the base layer. But going from like, I think I can scoot this over. Here we go. Going from here and like, I feel like adding the layers on. I know I kind of like both. Only the blushes. That's a residual from the Foxtsu reading last week. That's where those blushes are now permanently ingrained and never leaving, despite whatever I want. And they'll come back again in 2 weeks when I do it again. Oh my God, come on, should we get a quick snap? There we go. Huh. I will never recover. I'll both never recover and, oh, actually, let me check something over here. So Twitch, bless its heart, doesn't keep VODs, such that it's hard to know what is my most popular Twitch stream. YouTube, on the other hand, does keep VODs forever. And so I can look at like what is the most popular VOD or stream I've ever done. Let's take a look here. And as we stand, 30, so best before this was 32 views. I'm a bit of an influencer. 32 views for the end of my Bloodborne campaign. Meanwhile, Foxtsu reading the spicy quotes is at 30. 30 on YouTube. And I think if you likely on Twitch was my most popular stream to date, which is both directional and terrifying. I'm not sure if it was me chatting and reading spicy quotes, if it was people in real life, or people I not internet friends from Discord who knew about this and all tuned in, or if it actually gained that organic traffic by tapping into the Fourth Wing fan community. So we'll see how it compares to this stream, which is the same time slot, also a chatting stream, but different content. And it's like, that's the question. That's the question I'm asking as I do this learning to draw stream. Or just, not learning to draw. I think I've learned to draw enough. Drawing practice stream. And the Foxtsu spicy quote reading stream is sussing out what is successful and what are the drivers to success. Which ironically is very close to my day job. But we don't have enough data samples here. We have 2 streams. We need at least 30 to draw some conclusions. So we'll get at it, see what draws those conclusions, what gets that engagement, let's get those likes, that subscribes, those follows, and either be frightened about what it means or lean into it. I'm not sure which way I'm going this way. I have learned over the last 6 months, especially Dungeons of Hinterberg, I think really drove this home to me. I love dramatic reading. I think that's something that I enjoy way, way more than I expected. And I think the spicy quote stream leaned into that. Doing the VA work for non-VA games leans into that. So I need to think of more content and more ways to enable that sort of activity on stream. Whether it is and one thing I had in my mind like months back was to do a poetry reading. So read my favorite poems on stream for one of these Foxtsu Fridays. I also love this journey of self-discovery for me. And I think I like hobbies that enable self-discovery. And they are hobbies that have a lot of facets and things you can iterate on. So streaming is one of them. Indie game dev is another one. There's a lot of facets you can work on. And I enjoy self-discovery. Before I say it, let me look up. I think it was Shakespeare, but before the unexamined. Oh shit, it was Socrates. One of my classrooms in my 7th grade humanities class was a very influential class in my life. Surprisingly and deeply influential for this one teacher I had for 7th and 8th grade for humanities. And one of the quotes he had on a banner across the top of the blackboard in the class was, "The unexamined life is not worth living." And the whole class essentially was focused on that philosophy, which to be fair, is a lot for 7th graders to handle. But we did it. By God, we did it. And it's something I've taken and it's ingrained deep in my core about the unexamined life is not worth living. And so self-discovery and finding avenues and acknowledging the journey as you're on it and questioning where it might go, hypothesizing and thinking about the path you may take, and then look back on the path you end up treading, I think is a deeply important value for me, both as a, I'm not gonna say as a person and as as a streamer, but just in every facet of my life. It's very sorry, I just read the context for that quote. Keep in mind, this was a 7th and 8th grade humanities teacher. The quote is, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Wikipedia follows the quote with the context, is a famous dictum supposedly uttered by Socrates at his trial for impiety and corrupting youth, for which he was subsequently sentenced to death. So I'm glad that was the driving factor in a humanities class for the youth. The sad part is, the greatly disappointing part of it is I found out years later that teacher taught, I think it was 2 or 4, he taught 4 periods of humanities and 2 periods of math that 5-10 years after I graduated middle school. There was complaints from parents or something about him he wasn't teaching to the test is what he wasn't doing at all. And so I think he got removed from teaching humanities to only teach math, which is to me heartbreaking. And it's find out a teacher who's deeply influential got removed from teaching that content solely because it wasn't teaching to a test. It's just it hurts deep. It hurts deep when I think about it. But that class and the things we did in that class and how it influenced my life, that's deep lore. That's deep lore that was... I'm going to do some terrible math here. I'm not going to say what this math is, but when was this class? Oh. I looked up how many years ago that was. Someone should have stopped me. I shouldn't have looked it up. I'm going to close this tab with math on it. Awful. It is a very, very famous quote, but it's where I encountered it. That was the same school where the announcers, I've talked about this on stream at some point. It's funny, the things that at the time sounded so cringe, and we thought everyone around me were all we're too cool and edgy. We just learned what sarcasm and irony are. We're this is too cringe for us. Granted, at the time, cringe wasn't a word. We didn't use cringe. General sentiment, though, was the I'm not sure if it's actually a quote or just this middle school administrator was always ended the daily announcements with, "Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours." Which as a kid, I'm oh, that's cringe. That's so cringe. But now as an adult, I'm some days I'm just start the day off. And I'm things aren't going well. I spill coffee grounds. I have a meeting. I got some annoying emails. And I'm you know what? I'm going to choose to make this a great day. This day can't tell me that it's not going to be good. I'm going to force this to be a good day. And kind of just do some militant optimism. And it surprisingly works. It surprisingly works for me. And I do it a lot while traveling. Definitely works with traveling. Um, but that is a deep lore in where I realized a lot of my core deep philosophy and values stem from 7th grade, 4th period humanities class. Gosh, formative years. The formative years of Foxboys. Oh, I'll write that down. Formative years of Foxboys. That sounds like a great like a Disney show, like a Hallmark movie about VTubers or like online anime communities. Kind of like Sisterhood of Traveling Pants. It's got that same ring to it. British school drama. British school drama right up there. This is a BBC miniseries written all over it. The formative years of Foxboys, or I write it as a book. In 3 years, I write this book. It becomes a bestseller on Amazon or whatever, and it gets picked up as a BBC miniseries or like an artsy film that wins some awards at like Sundance, and then like you're sitting on an airplane and the person next to you recommends you watch it, and you're like, oh wow, that was really deep. Well, I've never heard of this. Write this down. This is my volume 4 of my autobiography, The Formative Years of Foxboys. Full page illustrations. Color edition costs $5 more. Gotta monetize this. But I think overall today, I think for drawing, my little, I'm not sure why this part of the drawing. Oh, it's the eraser. Don't erase. This part of the drawing this inspired me. This part, but I did it. Anyway, I'm not sure I got on this topic. Personal journey and personal growth. They're very near and dear to my heart. And one reason I wanted to start this off with me drawing on screen with a self-portrait was a way for me to look back and see where I was in the past and use that as a benchmark for growth. Because I feel that for most of my life, on most things I do, when I look back at how I did things a year ago, 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, there's a bit of cringe. The inherent feeling is cringe, but realistically what it is it's that gap between where I was then and where I was now, and reconciling that internally as growth. As a positive thing, I feel like if I ever look back at what I did 3 years ago and I was like, damn, I nailed it then, and there is no way I could improve now. For me, if that ever happens, that's a sign I've not grown, and it would be deeply, deeply worrying. Versus most things I look back on, I'm like, whew, could have done better. Could have done better. And that applies to like things I did a week ago, things I did a month ago, things I did 10 years ago. If I look at the published scientific papers I have to my name, and I look at them today, I just think to myself, I could have done better. Like the skills I have today, I could have done those better, more efficiently, with a more polished result than what I did then. But they still got published. Joke's on them, still got published. Suckers. Published in the journal Foxboy Studies. Still published though. And for me, it's a sign of personal growth, and that's part of the journey. And my music stopped, because apparently I hit the end of the 2-hour loop. Start back at the beginning. So it just says music stopped. I'll just keep talking. And this problem if I'm talking in a monologue, it's like not quite blacking out, but like all inputs to my persons get lost and shunted aside, and I end up I just keep talking. So I don't notice that the music stopped. But we put that music back. We put that music back, Kit Chat. And here we are 2 hours and 8 minutes into the zatsu, where I've just talked for 2 hours straight with some drawing, with some light intermittent drawing thrown in. Perhaps it's time to wrap it up. To be fair, I am 2 pumpkin ales into the evening, which is danger territory. There are 2. I'll confess this here. Confession's a strong word, because it's not like I'm trying to hide this, and I admit it to everybody I run into who are going to be around me for any length of time. I get very, very chatty under 2 situations. Like, there's baseline, but 2 situations where I get very chatty. One, when I get caffeinated. So after a morning coffee or like an espresso drink, like 30 minutes later, I get chatty. And so oftentimes I try like time that for like a 4:30 stream to get some like caffeine beforehand. The other time I get chatty is about 1 alcoholic drink in. 1 to 2, very chatty. Up to 3, too chatty, and I should stop. That is danger territory for me. That is when I all my like social filters and barriers start to drop, which feels great in the moment. Don't get me wrong, in the moment feels great, but then the next day I'm just like head in my hands. I'm just like here you go, head in my hands. I'm just like, no, what have I done? What did I say? Oh, that was not a closed shape. Then I'm just like, no, I'm not sure why it's not my skin tone at all, but my long gloves, I'm wearing gloves. I'm like, no, why did I say those things in that social situation? Oh, I'm just gonna die inside. But they are known to me moments of behavioral change. The hands are gone. But I think a deep sob. I need a deep sob emoji just for myself. I need something that really captures that feeling. But it's the 2 pumpkin ales in, chatting on stream, captive audience. I can doodle. Like, honestly, I am enjoying being able to just like draw things for emphasis. I think it channels a deep teaching assistant in me for drawing on whiteboards or blackboards. I was having a whiteboard in an office, just like sketch things out. I've done a lot of block diagram sketches of things in notebooks. For a while there, for like a good 2 or 3 period. Favorite app for drawing thing, Visio. Love Visio for block diagrams. About how systems work. Oh, mwah, fantastic. I'd have these super complex Visio diagrams that'd be like, input and then like, block, and then it split to here, and then it splits like a diamond shape, and then a diamond shape, and then we have another block, and then these 2 would feed into a circle, and then output here to like, a tetragon of success, and then it all feed in, and it'd be like, arrow saying right here is like, needs improvement, and you circle this of like question marks, like what is this black box system, and these are flowchart crimes, especially like I'm just drawing over top of things, but like then it'd be like a little bypass here for like this data. For this, like this is through, signed in. This is signed in data, signed in. And then this flow here, this is like over here, we'd say like anonymous users coming in. I spelled it anonymous. And then over here, this would be like child flow for sign-ins. And then over here would be like the input data stream of like, other team. And then at the end, you'd be like number of users, question mark, and you get a number, and it's like, we have 10 billion users, and you're like, God damn it, something failed. Well, apparently I just relived some trauma. That was a 6-month project. We're just going to ignore that. Flowchart crimes. I am mildly guilty of flowchart crimes in my past. I've not done them often anymore because I've not, mostly due to my current team and team composition. But in the past, when I've made complex systems to do complex things, I'd make flowcharts to describe them to other teammates in the case they needed to replicate, take over, or reproduce what I did. I feel like my challenge with flowcharts is they quickly demonstrate the janky hacked together system I built, which I deeply enjoy. So my question is, how do I? Can you group layers together? Aha. I want to group all. No. I think the mild pause to move things. I want to group myself together here. What I want to do, I want to talk about what to do for future Foxtsu Fridays. Where someone just said that name, and I'm like, well, shit, I'm committed to that bit now. Okay, there we go. Ooh, rename. First. Finish. No, autocorrect. Don't do this to me, autocorrect. First Santa is, get out of here. It's like people think my name is Spanish. I'm just like, that's not my name. The wrong language completely for what Spanish is. Great. I did that because I want to be able to like move myself in this corner here. So what I want to do is talk about what to do. I know you can. I reject it. Oh, directly on the name? Not directly on the name. I think you still have to. I might have it turned off. I think I have the pencil writing text turned off because it's one of those. It's like Siri or any voice assistant where I just fundamentally reject it as a concept. So but I want to write it here. Hard to tell who's saying who here, but here they come. Is Foxtsu Friday. Topics. There we go. Now, for those who aren't, who I may be their first VTuber. Oh, it's such a privilege. Just chatting streams for VTubing are called zatsus. So normally it's zatsu is what a just chatting stream is normally called. It is Japanese. It's sa, which is like, the problem is I'm learning Japanese and I know kanji and I know hiragana. I just don't know how to draw them. So I'm not doing the writing portion at all because I feel like that's not useful, but I'm going to try to do it. It's like, things like that. We're going to delete that for anyone here who actually knows how to write or read here. I'm going to delete that real quick. So zatsu, and then plus fox. Someone who is, this is why you have talked to people about things. Sometimes people have clever ideas and you can adapt them. And that's why the community is important, which is a different topic. Let's come together for Foxtsu. Foxtsu. Great name. We're sticking with it. So that's origin. This is origin story. So topics for Foxtsus in the future. For Foxtsu Friday. Next weekend, I am out of town, so that is right out. The following weekend, it's going to be Iron Oath, Spicy Quotes, Read and rank. Very excited for this. Given how the last stream went, as I'm reading Iron Oath, I am keeping an eye for like what did I find fun to read on stream, and lean into those quotes. And I realized when I did this before, I had very short quotes, and they didn't let me. They weren't as fun to read. The longer quotes were a lot more fun to read because you kind of like get into the rhythm and the flow. So I'm compiling some a bit longer quotes for this one. I'm gonna enjoy it. I think that's what I realized. I'm gonna enjoy it. Drawing, I definitely want to keep drawing. What I might try to do is I want to drawing needs to be more regular than once a Friday. But I think drawing on stream is a deep motivator for me to get actually do it. So I'm wondering about doing like start of stream or end of stream, do a little drawing. I'm still iterating. I'm thinking about this stream was more. This today was a case of I just need to get started on this, and so let's just do it and then work. And before I get started without having a perfect system or plan in place, and hope for the best. So Zatsu, spicy quote reading is one. Drawing up there. Poetry reading. I'm kind of a fan of. I don't know if I'll do this. This is I had this idea while on a run, and I'm like, it's still percolating in the back of that head. I'm out of my frame. A photography edit stream. So go through the process of what it looks like to take a roll of photos, and what my workflow is for processing them to the end product in terms of like cropping, color balance, maybe use it as a way to learn some more advanced technique that I generally haven't done before. So that could be fun, potentially. That's a potential. That's not none of these are promises. Nothing here is a promise. Except Iron Oath. Iron Oath. This one, Iron Oath. That's a promise. 2 weeks we'll be doing that one. Am I out of ideas? I'm not out of ideas. I think one that I've been percolating on a lot, and I've thought about it a lot, is just talking about community. And kind of what it has, the ways that has shown up in my life, what it has meant to me, and what I have learned in trying to build and foster communities. I just participate in them, and what makes them successful, what doesn't, and kind of like those experiences around community building. Actually, I should phrase that. Community building might be better. Community building, because it's I've had stretches in my life where have felt very lonely, and this is a topic that has helped me get better at that. Not get better at it. It's a weird way to phrase it. Improve that aspect of my life. And so it's something I want to talk about in depth and in detail in like a focused way, instead of kind of ad hocing it here and there. So something I'd want to do for community building. One, I need to think about this deeply. I don't know if there's an audience for it. Oh, okay, take it back. I actually don't care if there's an audience for it. I am just streaming when I want to stream. So be it. cool data techniques. There are some things I have done in my career that I think are super neat, like the methods and things I've done. And they are something in a way I've never really talked about publicly, due in part to NDAs. NDAs, like I don't want to write a Medium article, but I realized like I could talk about and do a stream focused on some of those things. Essentially do it's kind of bad, right? Essentially strem. I wrote strem. Put a little A in there. Essentially a data science stream. Talking about those experiences, the techniques, the methods. Is that March System meme of just like, I just think they're neat. How one could apply it to real world scenarios, and just doing it like in Procreate almost, so I can just like essentially draw out and block diagram like a whiteboard without having to. So I definitely can't do. I 100% can't talk about real use cases I've experienced, real data, real outcomes, because that is how this foxboy gets hella fired. And between you and me, Kit Chat, I don't want to get fired. I made it this far. Let's not start now. I thought a bit about just like settled into my chair, just like let me lean back and let me put some elbow patches on real quick. Like what sort of content out there would be different and interesting to do, that is unique to what I could provide. There's a lot of VTubers out there, a lot of streamers, even more streamers out there, and so there's people producing different types of educational content, but not all content format is reaching the right audiences or is the right way, blah 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 blah. So it's like, well, what unique background do I bring such that I could be like, oh, the first, or not even, it doesn't really matter, successful. What content can I bring that would be successful to me, to this format? Exactly right. It's just like, here's welcome to my soapbox. Congratulations, you're here. We're gonna be talking about these things. And like, it's something I haven't, this might be in the future, solely because like, every now and then I think about it, like I've kept a certain selection of my textbooks, just because by God, my blood, sweat, and tears went into those books. I'm going to keep them around. They are sanctified with too much of myself. Too much pain went into those books. So I've kept them. But what could I teach out of them? So it's like, essentially what I want to do, like a teaching, and a legitimate, honest to God, like lecture teaching stream on a subject. And so it'd be like, I could do a physics stream of some sort. Also, the challenge, I can't go too specific because the whole anonymity thing. Why is line graph the superior graph? That kind of goes down to this one. Data visualization is not a bad one. I do have a high horse, or a high horse. I have a soapbox for that one. I do feel the line chart is a superior chart, and anyone who asks for bar charts or pie graphs should feel bad and are wrong. Essentially, it's like, what am I opinionating about for 2 hours? Is what this comes down to. Which turns out is a lot of things. Do you have a favorite stream? So favorite fantasy novels. Oh my god. Favorite anime, manga, light novels, favorite games. So like a favorite stream would be also along the lines of like favorite fantasy novels. Wouldn't just be like, oh, here's a quick ranking of like my favorite fantasy novels, but more talking about like my journey through life with this topic and what it has meant to me at various points. For example, there's some novels, some fantasy books, some anime that hit me at the right time in my life and have been very deeply influential. So talking about those and what they have meant to me and then put that in the context of, would I recommend them to people? And sometimes the answer is no. It's like, this was for me deeply meaningful. Would I broadly recommend it? I wouldn't broadly recommend it. So the problem is, my opinion is 3 beers in versus medium caffeinated. Both of them, in a way, have the same impact of reducing internal barriers, I suppose, about talking and expressing myself. And that is something I'm trying to get better to be like, why don't you live my life like this? That'd be better. I think caffeine just makes me chattier about everything in general, while slight influence of substances reduces barriers to talk about other things. Probably like nothing on this list would fall into I would talk about it in one situation, not the other. Perhaps community building is one. It would be different. With community building, 2 pumpkin ales deep, 3 pumpkin ales deep would focus probably more on the personal emotional journey of loneliness and friendship, versus just caffeinated would talk probably more about the kind of the mechanics of community building and experiences therein. Would be one difference. Favorite fantasy novel, depending on how it went, 3 beers, 3 pumpkin ales in, 2 scotches, or a scotch in. There would, same with anime actually, there'd probably be at least 1 point in each where I am likely to at least tear up a little bit talking about certain things. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm thinking about it now in my head. I'm running through what it'd be like. I'm like, okay, yeah, those would definitely would happen on those streams, those topics. Physics, cool data techniques, data visualizations, drawing, poetry reading, Iron Oath. Take about that last one. Those will all be the same. Iron Oath, couple pumpkin ales in, I'd probably just get more into the quote reading. I would get like, I would get more into the vibe of it. Light a candle, turn those lights down, get into that spicy quote reading. And I like to think that perhaps it's going to be a topic that continues, is I'll get recommendations for reading spicy fantasy novels, or maybe fan works, spicy fantasy novels, and then read, because based on my sample size of 1, they're easy to read. They're quick reads. They're legitimately enjoyable reads. I think that's the part that surprised me the most, is like, outside of this, the naughty parts. Outside of the naughty parts, it's like it's an easy binge read. I was up a little too late reading Iron Oath yesterday because it was in a non-naughty section, and I was just like blasting through like 1 more chapter. I can read 1 more chapter here. So I enjoy it. I've enjoyed it more than I expected. But here's those things for Foxtsu topics. I'll probably have more. I have a Oregon High School Host Club notepad next to me that lives on my desk for taking down notes for things to talk about. Oh, actually, I should take a look. I should take a quick look see here. Oh, hold in front of my camera so I get frozen. Community building. Okay, that's on that top right there. There, got that taken care of. Emoji outfits. Yeah, okay. Current content. Got that. Oh. One topic that is like, sometimes you look at something like, what do I have expertise in? What do I have experience in that could help someone else? And something I've had to, one accepts about oneself. I'm an elder foxboy. Many people who stream, and many people who watch streams are younger, are in college, perhaps younger, perhaps just out of college, early 20s. And so someone who has perhaps more life experience could help in some ways. So one place I have, I did not want to get this experience, Kit Chat, but it's the experience that I have lived. And that's corpo advice. Tips and tricks for working in the corporate world. What matters? The mix of successful strategies. What things I've experienced and seen. What does it mean to get alignment across 3 different groups of people who should be aligned but aren't? How to find a niche and develop it and gain experience. It is not the Foxboy we wanted and the Foxboy we need in this economy. My corporate philosophy of working in a corporation, how that has impacted and how I've developed that for my career in a way that is not going to dox myself or fox myself. And it's something where like, this and other things are like topics where I feel like less than that question about like caffeinated versus other streaming topics I think about is getting enough followers and viewers to have the more not engaged, because watch takes are definitely engaged, conversation and question and answers from chat about things, which I see other much bigger streamers have, right? Being like, this is going to be the corpo advice stream, so tweet at me or Blue Sky or Mastodon or whatever platform matters, your corporate life advice, career questions, and I'll do my best to answer them on stream. Like that sort of thing, I would love to do that. I would love to do that about corporate advice, physics problems, absolutely data problems, not about fantasy novels. Like this is like personal preference, so I feel like it's a bit harder. Questions about community building, give me your favorite spicy quotes, give me your favorite poems to read on stream. Office hours, Professor Fox. I think I deeply love answering questions. I think like this is going to be part of the community building stream when I get to it. In one of the Discords I belong to, it's a small community, about 80 people. And I somewhat accidentally, somewhat not, I was a couple IPAs in. I had Scotch ales. Couple Scotch ales in on a Friday night. And I'm just like, couple Scotch ales in, Sandwich is here, Ask Me Anything opened up. And opened the floor for an AMA at like 8 p.m. at night, and it kind of exploded. The chat was fast and furious. People were active. It got lit. And then it kind of has since then turned into more of a tradition, or like a common mechanism of like, oh, when is this person's AMA? And I've really enjoyed it, both as seeing it evolve in the community to get people like an online community of people who've met online to know each other better. But also it's like It was really fun to do. And I'm still to this date thinking of like, oh man, should I do another one? I think about it. But then I worry about like how the questions have evolved from like when I first like shot this from the hip, no one was ready. Now people are going to be ready with questions. And I'm like, I don't want people's ready questions. They're going to be meaningful and deep. Oh, oh, oh. You're biased. You're a biased member of this second AMA. It'll happen. When it'll happen, I don't know. Will it be scheduled? Probably. But I kind of enjoy the shooting from the hip. I'm not ready for the next level of questions. I don't want to answer them. But that's why I say it's an ask me anything, not answer me anything. And there are questions I will avoid and dodge. Like, when did you first realize you were a fox boy? Dodge that question. Whew. Whew. It's a tough one. Or when are you going to tell your family you're a fox boy? Okay, that's an easy question. That was your question, I know. So I pulled that as an example. Maybe this might be a topic, traditions. Like seasonal traditions. I think I realized, as I said, when you tell your family you're a fox boy, one tradition I've started in my adult life that I thought was kind of goofy as a child, but now I'm like all on board with it, is writing Christmas cards. Like honest to God Christmas card that you mail out. I started doing it a couple of years ago, like 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. All sorts of traditions, seasonal, individual, like solo, friends, family. Christmas cards are one that I enjoy because in a way it's like, depending on how often you talk to your family, they are great for like, here's my major life changes and here's where I am now. Here's some cool things I did and 3 photos. Haha. I just mailed it out. Or use Shutterfly. I think I use like Shutterfly or something to mail it out for me. Of course, I didn't do it last year because last year I had a bunch of life upheaval. I didn't really want to write about because it's a bit of a downer. But this year I will. I'm like, I went to Japan. Here's some cool Japan photos. I'm not going to put a picture of myself and say, by the way, I play a Foxboy online. Not there yet. We're not there yet. Maybe one day I'll come out to my family as an internet Foxboy. But probably not. I might talk about it in vague, non-specific terms. But like the last thing I want, the honest to God, last thing okay, 2 things I don't want. Family watching the stream and people I work with watching the stream. Those streams should not cross one bit. Yeah, I think a Shutterfly I've used in the past. They like, you get a cool thing, they print on it, put the photos, double-sided, they'll mail it out to you. They do international mailing. You can import a mailing list. Works pretty well. But yeah, definitely not handwriting. Like, look at all this. I'm not handwriting a card. Not in this economy. So traditions is definitely one that I have opinions on. As I bring up that topic and I start talking about it for 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, that's a good one, isn't it? You can say I have bad handwriting. This is when you become a doctor, your handwriting does degrade about 3 levels. It's part of the transformative process. You get 3 things out of it. Your handwriting degrades. You get to say, as a doctor, as a preface to statements about anything. And that's it. You can, those are the 2 things you get. Guaranteed 100%. Now, some of us aren't medical doctors, but we can ignore that part of the equation. So, seasonal traditions. Big fan of traditions. I'm gonna put that on that list there. Shiny diploma. So you have to actually, at least for me, I had to manually request my diploma to get mailed to me. They were going to mail it. Cheapskates. I had to pay for it and get it mailed to me. And FedEx delivered it, and they just put it outside my house, leaning against my door, and it got rained on, and so it's slightly waterlogged in the bottom. My diploma's seen some stuff. I know. For those that don't know, when you get a PhD or doctorate of any sort in Finland from a Finnish university, you get a sweet hat and you get a sword. You get a sword for getting a PhD. And I'm like, I made mistakes. I should have learned Finnish. I should have gone to Finland, University of Helsinki or something, gotten that sweet, sweet sword. Alas, I didn't. Not that I don't regret it. I'm not saying I regret it. It's just sometimes I think about it in a wistful tone. To be fair, I expected myself to start this list, get to here, and be like, shit, there's nothing I want to talk about. I am just nothing here. So I'm glad I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Foxtsu Friday stream ideas. This is a productive brainstorm with my twin here at the top, looking down on us. But I think I'm probably going to start wrapping things up. This has gone for almost 3 hours. I've been talking for about 3 hours, which is more than I expected. More than I expected. So yeah, let's wrap things up here. With this, I'm going to tweet out the side-by-side comparison photo of myself before after. I think that's something I see for drawing streams is people usually tweet out the result. I'll go ahead and do that as well, just because it's more amusing that way for me. That's what I would do most of this for my own amusement. I'm gonna be, you know. I do most things for my own amusement. It's a good way. It's a good way. A good life philosophy. Yeah, I would thank everybody for joining today. Either if you joined for the whole stream, you only popped in for some of it. If you're coming in and watching a VOD in the future, if you are watching a VOD and you're somehow skipping to the end of the VOD, the drawing started like an hour in because I stalled hard. I stalled hard and I stalled long. I'm proud of that stall. That was a good stall. Be prideful where you can. I will probably do an ad hoc stream this weekend in the evenings. I have busy plans in the mornings. I went from a complete open weekend to a busy weekend. Busy for me weekend, for those of you who are even busier. So I'll probably do like a 7 p.m. or maybe 8 p.m. type stream on Saturday, Sunday to continue Signalis and Dyson Sphere program, and or just one of those two. I'll let people know on Twitter and Blue Sky and or personal close friend Discord, depending, or all three to be honest. But I'll announce them there and try to give as much early warning as I can for those who are deeply invested. I know one person who's deeply invested. Me. I'm not going to schedule out for the following week, but I will be out next Friday. So there's going to be no Foxtsu Friday next Friday. Unfortunately, I will be traveling. But maybe. Oh, you know what? Another big thing here on this list is. Oh God! I dropped my Apple Pencil. I caught it. Thank God. Another stream idea. Travelogue. So essentially, whenever I travel, let's come back and talk about it for a bit. It links in a little bit with the photo editing stream, to be honest. Which, like my earlier observation that Sanish Mom was on the radio, and it's very much like radio. Sanish Grandpa and Sanish Grandma, for about 5-10 years ago, did produce travelogue videos and sold them and toured them about and presented them in front of audiences. The fox doesn't fall too far from the tree, now does it? 12 ideas there. Assuming I can read what I wrote here. That is pretty smudged. It's fine. I'll figure it out. I'll be like, what would I have written at this moment? I can always check the VOD and then hear myself speak. Hard pass on that front. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I enjoyed myself. So I hope everyone has a great rest of their Friday. and a great Saturday and or Sunday, depending on when I see everybody next time I stream. With that, I'm going to say good night, everybody.